Hello, welcome back, my favorite movement enthusiasts, to another episode of I'm making this up as I go along. And today's video is going to be all about upper body balance. Now, instead of going right for the handstand, we're going to start out with something a little bit more accessible for most people. There are so many upper body balance exercises that you can use to both strengthen your upper body as well as work on your stabilizer musculature and help you build some real strength as well as endurance and control over your entire body musculature, not just your upper body. So today we're going to make use of these exercises. If you're ready, let's get right into it. Your tongue is out. Pull your tongue in. What are you doing with that tongue out? I need this space. Do you mind? Please, don't hurt me. What the hell? Now, since the weather outside is a little bit less than inviting for us to go and touch some grass, we're gonna have to do this inside for a change. Starting out with the crow pose first, which is aptly named so because it definitely does look like a crow. If you've ever seen a crow, this is exactly how it looks when it's outside, walking and talking. Now, the crow pose isn't just an amazing beginner balance exercise because it doesn't require that much strength or balance, but it also doesn't require that much mobility. So you would think you would need to have the mobility to get into a deep squat before you can get into the crow pose, but you don't. You can even raise your heels to sit as comfortably as possible down here and then switch into the position itself. Now, how do we do that and how do we do it safely? We do it by going through a short progression. Now, this progression only has two major steps. Step number one for the progression would be the pseudo crow, or the one where we only raise a single foot. And step number two would be having some safety right in front of you where you can place your head first before you start balancing up. Now, you can also do this with a wall behind you and put your heels up. I found this one to be a little bit more helpful because you can switch from not requiring any balance to requiring a little bit of balance to not requiring any balance as much as you need to or require. So how do we get into the crow pose itself? Well, we're gonna start out in a deep squat position, or if you don't have the mobility for that, a raised heel squat position. We're gonna place our arms on our knees and keep them in full contact during the entire exercise. Extend both arms and open your hands as wide as you can for some extra balance surface area. Now, we're gonna raise on our tiptoes, and if you have shortened Achilles tendons or calves, then you're already there. All we need to do from here, extend both arms, be sure that your shoulder is right above your hand, and now we can start bending in our elbows and slowly move our body weight forward until our feet start leaving the ground by themselves, and once we're there, we can just pull them in. Now, you can either do the pseudo first, right side, left side, and work your way up, or you can use the blocks and start right here. Exercise number one done. Let's check out something a little bit more interesting. Now, a single step removed from the crow would be the side crane, or the easy version of the side crane, which I'm doing right now. And getting into this position requires a little bit more mobility as well as balance because most of our body weight is on one side instead of balance on both arms symmetrically. Now, to get into this position, we will have to start also in a deep squat position. But instead of going down like so with both legs completely closed, what we're gonna do is turn sideways, go into a semi-squat, and then turn our upper body using our arm to push our legs more into a rotation. Now, once we have both hands in a single line, right here, open your fingers as usual for more surface area, and then we're gonna start once again, bring both shoulders right above your hands, and then we're gonna start bending in our elbows, and instead of moving our weight forward, we're gonna have to move it sideways diagonally. So all the way forward, and once our feet leave the ground, we can start balancing to our own heart's content. We have our little helpers here. Yoga blocks are absurdly versatile and can be used for many different things. So we're gonna get into our starting position once again. You don't always have to start from the very top. If you're going through like a yoga progression, then you might be changing from one position to the other. But if you are not, then you can already start like so. Legs completely closed, hands sideways, turn your upper body, have some spinal rotation here. Now we're gonna start placing our feet on the blocks and bend our elbows the tiniest bit. hold for a handful of seconds, and reverse. Bring our entire body weight on the blocks again before we move them laterally and start raising once more. Touchdown, safety, and raise. Touchdown for safety and raise. Now this one you can also do with a wall right next to you to hold on to. But once again, I find it a little bit more effective to use the blocks because you still need to concentrate a lot and you still need a lot more strength than you would if you make it way too easy for yourself. Next up, we have an extended side crane, which is just extending your legs from the side crane itself. So the progression for this one would be first learning the side crane like so with your legs bent. And the better you get with your strength, the more you will be able to extend your legs. Now, I would advise to start out by fully completing your side crane quest first, and once you can do that perfectly and hold it for at least 10 to 15 seconds, now you can start by getting into the side crane and extending either both legs simultaneously, or you can start extending one leg and over time extending the next one, or both. And you can play around with it a little bit. It looks like fun and it builds a lot of strength as well as endurance in your upper body, because you have to hold the exercise statically for longer periods of time. And the more you do it, the better you're gonna get, the longer you're gonna hold, the more advanced exercises you can use. And over time, you're gonna be doing one-handed handstands like it's nobody's goddamn business. Now, while we won't be working on the handstand, what we can definitely do is work on the headstand, because it's a way lower threshold for getting into that, and you can start adding different things to your headstand once you get the tiniest bit of control over the movement. Now, there are multiple things you can do to make the headstand both easier and a little bit more safer to approach. For one, you can get yourself a pillow so you don't hurt your tiny, soft little head, you baby boy. I'm joking, having a pillow can be really helpful, and please put your safety first before you get into doing anything where you're balancing on your head and on your goddamn neck. That can be really, really dangerous. As for what you can use to make it easier, surprisingly enough, it's going to be yoga blocks, because you can place your head right there and it's going to help you the tiniest bit with the balance part and giving you a little bit more space to work with your arms as well. So now that we know both of these things, we're gonna start in a triangle starting position, meaning we have both hands opened and outwards and our head on the ground, forming this beautiful triangle. Now be sure not to have your arms too wide spread apart, because we're gonna need our elbows for the progression of these exercises. So there we go. We start right here and slowly move closer with your legs. Now, if you do not have the mobility for that, then having a wall behind you where you step up can be very, very helpful. However, if you have enough posterior chain mobility, then walk closer and closer and closer. And once you are, start pulling in your legs. Now, we're not gonna extend yet. Once you can balance here for 10 to 15 seconds, as usual, we can start by extending a leg, pulling it in, extending the other leg. And once we are there, extending both legs. And once we are there, we can play around, one leg on our elbow and the other leg extended, or the other side, or left side, right side, and play around. Strengthening your core, strengthening your upper body, both working on your static strength as well as your stabilizer musculature, and putting all of this together will make you an absolute balancing beast, and you're gonna enjoy working with upper body balance exercises a lot more. And there you have it, not only my favorite upper body balance exercises, but also the most accessible ones. Now, I find the crow and the headstand to be more accessible than the side crane as well as the extended side crane, but that will totally depend on you. If you have more mobility, if you have more strength, if you've worked with balance exercises before, it is all going to account for your success or lack thereof. What I suggest, however, is just have some fun and play with it. The more you can find fun in what you are doing, the longer you're going to be practicing it, and the more success you will have in the long run. Now with that said, sadly, once again, this is all the time I have left for you today. I still have a lot of work to do today, but if you like the video and subscribe and check out other videos on this channel because we literally have new ones every single day and she can attest to that. So until tomorrow, Captain Cairo, peace out.